Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Waltons review, where we are reviewing the Airmail Man. Oh, it's supposed to be two words. Oops. Anyhow, and this is an episode I vaguely I kind of remembered parts of it, but I didn't remember the whole thing. Not sure about you, Jerm.
I haven't seen any of these episodes.
Oh, nice. Or at least you enjoying them most for the most part.
Oh, it's better than what they make today.
Yeah.
Then again, a colonoscopy is better than what they make today, so that ain't a high bar.
I don't know. It depends on what you're into. So, hurry. Let's
Well,
start off with.
you say that when you have to get your regular colonoscopies.
Alrighty, so let's say hi to Mikey. He says, "Hello, guys and gals." And Dreamer says, "Hi, Mikey." And I said, "Hey, Mikey, we're starting at 8." And Mikey says, "Hey, Resolute and Gorilla." Then Mikey says, "FYI, we know about Paul Michael Glazer, who played Starsky with David Souls Hutch, but the other guest star in this episode, Julia Cobbs, appeared with Soul in the TV movie Salem's Lot. I've never seen Salem's Lot. It's on the list." And you say, "Okay, cool." Then we get an explanation part from Boomer. Now, this was actually probably a relatively cheap episode to make because they probably already had the airplane from some other show, and they only had two guest stars.
Yeah.
Usually they have a bunch of them with like bit parts and stuff like that. But overall, this was probably a fairly cheap one to make.
Yeah, there's only the family, the two guest stars, and
Ike, who's a
what's his name?
regular.
Ike. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, PvP should be around shortly. Shortly there, he told me he needed half an hour or 35 minutes, and I gave him half an hour. But I figured we could go ahead and get started here. All right, let's start with our prologue. The peace and beauty of the land and sky around Walton's Mountain was a source of constant comfort to all of us during those difficult Depression years. Some of the changes that were going on in the world did eventually reflect themselves on our mountain, like the increase in the number of airplanes that spotted the sky. In particular, I remember an airmail plane that used our mountain as a landmark. My mother especially liked to wait for the plane to go over, and sometimes watching, she'd get the look on her face people have when they watch wild geese winging their way south to warm, sunny days. I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of expensive to run an airplane to fly just to fly the mail. But I suppose people paid extra for short priority mail.
Yeah.
You gotta
He
keep up with
wasn't.
the times.
Yeah. He wasn't flying that much, but what he was doing is first class express.
Yeah, probably to the major hubs, because you got like Atlanta, DC's probably a major hub. I think there's
Yeah.
12 major. I bet you they just fly to the major hubs. Like we got Minneapolis, Dallas, George, or Atlanta. Then
Yeah.
probably DC
His,
some area.
his run was DC to Atlanta.
Yeah. If Boomer says, hey, Boomer.
Hey, Boomer.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and skip through these. Can you imagine that your entertainment for the night is just watching for an airplane to come over?
I've had worse.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're making spaghetti and meatballs. I wonder if they made the noodles themselves. Actually, probably. They make everything from scratch back in those days. No,
Yeah.
that's something I'd like to have a try at making, but I'd probably fuck it up.
Oh no,
There.
it's not that bad.
Yeah. So yeah, they're then she and Grandpa here. I'm sorry. You should see the look that Grandpa got on this one here.
It's nothing but work and worry.
I would prefer a little less philosophy and more.
Oh, that's not the line I was looking for. But Grandma says with her attitude, she wouldn't have to worry about cooking for anybody. Then she guilt trips Aaron into helping even there. Did you find it awkward that Ben I don't know if he gave her a kiss on Elizabeth's lips, but it seemed like he was going in for it.
I didn't notice.
Later.
Oh, all right.
Your supper, sir.
Okay, it was just a glance and you miss it moment, but it was like, huh. Oh, it's a little weird. It seemed a little awkward there. And Boober says hi to Germ. And she calls someone calls Aaron a born slave. That Grandma wishes she would come in there to help out. Yeah, because all she's been dreaming about is that plane, you know. You'd think it'd be Jim Bob that'd be staying out there watching the plane. Because Jim Bob's the one that wants to be, he's the one that's into flying and stuff. You'll see that reflected throughout the series. He even has a bomber, what do you call it, bomber cap?
I believe that's right.
Yeah. So, anyhow, so they're all trying to plan out her different birthday stuff. They're trying to count. At least I still don't know how Elizabeth ends up with money. Like she had like 8 pennies. Like she find them on the floor or something.
Well, she asked for a penny, and they'll give her a penny.
Yeah. Yeah. So that John Boy comes out and talks. You know, this is a good. I want to play it.
It's late tonight.
Never been late before. Always like clockwork.
Gotten to be a regular part of your day here.
Yeah, that's a. You know, no, I don't think. I don't know how the heck he can stay like on schedule that much where they like know exactly when he's gonna come over. Like almost down to the couple minutes.
Well, back in the day, timing was very, very important. Yeah. You don't have all these cell phones and everything. The main way to meet somebody was, oh, I'll be at such and such station or clock tower at 12 o'clock or whatever. And if you're not right there on time, your whole day's shot.
I suppose.
Marvelous to you to be waved at from an airplane.
Brings the sky down close to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had to explain to Owen or I was trying to show Owen what biplane was. He was not interested at all in it at all. It's like I tried.
Try putting him in one. See how interested he is then.
I can't afford that one. That sounds a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah, seeing your kid fall out of an open cabbed airplane is probably a little bit bad too.
It's just something just
unsafe.
Yeah. So yeah, they just play the stock footage in that.
You think I'm being silly, John Boy?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so she just wants to fly up in one. So they come in here. They're teasing them about that. The grandma's too busy to think about the flying and all that. But then they hear him coming back. He's circling back. Back. And now I got a question here. When he tells them to start grabbing lanterns there and have drama pull the truck around to light up the meadow there, and then they have them all line up. Do you think that was natural instinct, or do you think his training from World War One came into play, like if those pilots in World War One had to make an emergency landing in France?
I'm sure the war experience helped out there.
Yeah, because he knew exactly what to do. Like, get a truck on there, get the lights, even though they're dim as fuck, and then get a bunch of lanterns and wave that guy in. Which, now welcome pop culture.
Hey, Pop.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just one of those things. It just seemed like he must have had to deal with something with the airplanes in in France there in World War One.
Yeah, almost assuredly.
Yeah, because one of those just a random pop shot from a rifle could take those things down. So he's too low. He's gonna go land in the pasture road. He's gonna. Then we got more stock footage. So here's what they do.
There you go. Go. You took it out of the end of the road.
So what are they lighting the lanterns with underneath the truck? Because there's something barely on fire in the truck. I wonder what that was. So I've never seen that before on a vehicle.
Well, the lanterns on the truck were probably actual lanterns.
Oh, so I think that's just part of the truck's design then.
Yeah, the headlamps on the truck, being the age it is, probably kerosene.
Okay, I just thought they're the actual light bulbs.
Well, it's possible it was light bulbs, but say that thing's 20 or 30 years old at the time, very good chance it's kerosene.
Okay. And Boomer says hello to Pop. Pop says hello, Phantom. Some of those early World War One pilots had enough experience to fly airmail missions. Yep, he goes hello to Boomer and Pop. Says Mikey. Alrighty, so more stock footage. There's a lot of stock footage in here. Then I'm pretty sure this is stock footage too. And you can see the smoke bellowing out of the airplane there, so you know it's an oil problem. And like this here, you can tell how grainy it is, and there's no smoke pouring out of it. It's just stock footage. Yeah, so they're just waving him in. And he makes a landing there, and he goes, "Oh, that was a tricky landing." He's just glad he remembered that they had that meadow in there. Yeah, so they invite him over for supper, and he'll fix it in the morning because he has an oil and gas leak. So does Icing just charge like the mail service for the parts or something when he has to go down and order them, or?
Probably a very small extra fee.
Well, I'm pretty sure. It's not going to come out of like Gotzi's pocket for the mail, and they would have had to pay for. Because that's one of the things there. I didn't know how, like, if they just charged like all the parts just get charged straight to the post office, or how that works.
Oh yeah, he'll get reimbursement from the actual owner of the airplane.
Okay. Then Boomer says, "Hi, Mikey." Mikey says they're early crude light bulbs. Side story: Olivia gets depressed. Well, yeah, she's having a midlife crisis with her birthday coming up, and she has the same routine every day: cooking, sewing, and laundry. Which she's going through a midlife crisis for. So he has to make a phone call to Atlanta, tell them the mail's safe. Apparently, how many people would actually take it seriously to grab the mail out of the plane and bring it up to the house there because you can't leave it unguarded? Like, how serious do you think anybody these days would take that?
Be very serious, because if anything happens to that mail, it's his ass. Hey, PvP.
Hi, guys. Sorry I'm a bit late.
Hey,
Took a little longer than I thought it would. Never fails, when always the last work day of the week, it always seems to go into overtime. Oh, well, had to be done.
Well, at least you get. So is it actual overtime, or is it?
Oh no. My boss doesn't actually pay overtime, but when you gotta get the stuff finished, you just got to do it, right? Grit your teeth and do it. Because well, I got behind because I got a phone call from someone and had to schedule a meeting for them, and that ate up like 20 or 30 minutes that I thought that I'd have to wrap up the end of the day, and then of course I didn't. So yeah. Never fails.
I don't know how Canada's overtime laws work, if they're the same as the United States or not.
I think it depends on the business, because my boss was up front, like, saying that the company doesn't pay overtime, right up front. So I knew what to expect, but I think it depends. I think the larger companies probably do pay it, I think, but I really don't know much about.
Ours is it depends on the size of the business.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Ours is automatic. Like, you have to have like 21 employees and like a profit of like 500,000 or something. That after 40 hours you're required to pay overtime. There. Then small businesses like your small mom and pop restaurants, it's 48 hours.
Yeah. I don't work full time at the present anyway, so, but it's a small company, so I think that's probably why. Anyway, how far are you guys? About 15 minutes in, it looks like.
You just made the emergency landing.
Oh, okay, so not too. I didn't miss too much then.
So it's 9 minutes in. Yeah, we're talking. I asked you a germ there if he thought like the way John just flat out reacted, get the truck at the end of the thing, grab the lanterns, and they waved the guy in, if that was his military experience or pure instinct. Because John wasn't.
Well, the thing is, in the start of the episode, Olivia's, staring up at the sky and waving to the pilot, right? So the pilot seemed to do a little maneuver to acknowledge her. So it seems like she has a kind of ongoing relationship watching the pilot fly over their land, right? So that's probably why John.
They used their mountain's a landmark, and they used the meadow as you remember the meadow.
Yeah, that's a good backup landing strip if needed, I guess, which it was in this case.
Yeah, because this was way before we had our interstate system. Because our interstate system, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to help with further travel and help with transport goods and people across the United States and all that.
Oh, the freeway stuff, yeah.
But its secondary purpose for ours is that it could be used as emergency landing for our jets and stuff if they had to make emergency landing, and our bridges were supposed to be made. It could be like a makeshift hangar until they could get the plane out of there.
I never knew that. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
Kind of be freaky if you were driving though, and you see this plane coming at you.
Oh no, I've seen plenty of videos where planes have had to make the emergency landings on the on the on the freeways and stuff.
Right. Still, I think the driver would be kind of panicking if they'd be probably going into the ditch or something.
That was the
Well,
original intent, but military aircraft got a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
And
a
thus
little
is
bit
no
big.
longer a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah. You
Well,
probably
you
wouldn't
can
want to
still
land them.
land. You can still land the fighter jets on the interstates.
Well, I guess, yeah, but I wouldn't think you'd want to try, landing a jumbo jet 747 or something.
Oh no,
That might be a
no, no.
little crazy, but
I don't even think our regional airport could handle a jumbo. It could handle private planes and all that because they had a crap ton of them fly in a few years ago for some big venture where everybody was wearing. Well, there's some people wearing $10,000 watches on their wrists, to show off how much money they had. All these
jeez,
CEOs, all these CEOs from different companies from around the world flew into ACO, and ACO was hosting some big thing, and they're talking about different ways to be more productive in their companies and all that other shit. It was just basically
jeez.
a show off thing because the meals that we made them costed $50 a piece, and
Mm,
some of them made 2 or 3 meals, along with wearing like a $10,000 watch and a five
That's
thousand dollar suit.
yeah, there's something wrong when a guy. Well, I mean, I guess maybe they deserve it. Some of them maybe work hard for it, but when I could almost pay at my a year's rent on one of what they got on their wrist, it's kind of absurd.
Yeah.
It's a bit over the top. Oh well.
Absurd for you on your end, on their end. Hey, it's what they make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's basically just a big show off thing.
a status symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. Then, all right. So Mikey says, breaking news: Suzanne just found out that George Brown, drummer for the '70s group Kool-Aid and the Gang, died earlier today from cancer at age 74.
Huh.
I never even heard of the Kool-Aid and the Gang.
Actually, it's just Cool in the Gang.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Gorilla.
Oh. Then Mikey says, I saw them open for Van Halen back in 12.
Really? Wow.
And Boomer says, side story number 2, Olivia gets cheeky with the airmail pilot. Hey, what happens in the barn stays in the barn.
Yeah, well, I gotta say the pilot was a little bit fresh at first when he got off the plane, talking about Olivia's being beautiful or whatever.
Didn't you notice the couple black eyes he had in the scene after that?
probably from grandma. Probably from Grandma Walton, judging how Grandma feels about this guy as the episode goes on.
Hey, Todd doesn't need Grandma to stick up for him. But the Dexter Carvey's former SNL Dana Carvey's son also died in an accidental drug overdose at age 32.
Oh.
Man, if you're doing drugs, then that's not accidental. That's just you fucked around and you found out.
Well, it depends what kind of drugs you're doing, I guess, because there's plenty of them I'd never want to touch. That's for sure.
Yeah. The Hearst Castle
happened to the wrong Carvey.
The Hearst Castle in California had its own private mini airport and landing strip. Saw that up close, which was very cool. Cool. Okay. Their biggest hit was Celebrate Good
Times.
Hey, don't sing. You don't want to get yourself another strike.
Oh crap.
Oh, fuck them. Fuck them. I was giving a tribute to what's his name?
That's about the only song of theirs I remember, actually, because it wasn't really my kind of music. It was kind of like pop music, basically. But it wasn't a bad song. I guess I didn't mind that song.
Yeah, Mikey says it cherish pop. Huge music loss. All right, so back to the thing here. So they said, he didn't manage. So they're all fighting over, Can you imagine kids actually fighting over to actually do some work and actually be useful for something? You don't get that nowadays.
It was a different age. Back then, kids had to work, at least back in those years, I guess, just to survive. The whole
Well,
family
no,
had to,
they all volunteered to help carry the mail. They were fighting over who got to help carry it.
Well, they probably think the pilot's cool, because he flies a plane. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Ben isn't through all the because it's the same plane as the model he has.
Oh, right.
Stearman.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it is a cool
Now
looking
he's
plane, though. Actually, I guess where would they get a plane? Would it have been a private collection, or would the studio have owned it as a movie prop? Or
I'm pretty sure the studio had a couple airplanes on standby. There was a lot of stock footage too, but I'm pretty sure there's one on standby, especially if they're going to do old World War One films. They use biplanes. They're
yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah, that would make sense. And this is the guy that went on to co-star in Starsky and Hutch. This guy.
Yeah.
I remember that show. That was actually not too bad a cop show, I guess.
Yeah, so
now
as you're counting out when it starts stalling out and missing there, he had to come down. Then he thinks he has to take it down to the train and stuff. And he talks about how it was his last trip and how he wanted it to be on time because he wants to be a race. He wants to go into plane racing. Which I don't know if there's back then if there's money into that or not.
Yeah, it does make you wonder in those years if people would have had the disposable income to go to air shows. But
I guess nowadays you could get a good 20, 30 grand for if you come in first place on those races and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's some huge air shows. We have one here in BC, the Abbotsford Air Show that takes place down in the Lower Mainland, and it's huge. I mean, get all kinds of planes flying in from different parts of the world. Usually, they get some of the U.S. military will land and show off their jets and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Like it's very well known up here. Very very well known.
Well, the reason that the military does that is it puts out a show for the people. But it also counts their flying time too.
Oh, really? Does it? Oh,
so,
okay. I didn't realize that. I just think it's cool. It's like sometimes they get those, the jets flying in formations and stuff too. Like those are pretty cool.
Yeah, and for the military, it all counts as their flying time. That's why they do flyovers over the races and the football games too. That still counts as their flying time that they're required. But Mike.
Interesting.
Yeah, Mikey says the Stearman Boeing Model 75 is an American biplane formerly used as a military trainer aircraft, which at least 10,626 were built in the United States during the 1930s and 40s. Yeah, but the 40s they switched to the monoplanes. They're especially with the Spitfire. Or was the Spitfire British? Well,
British.
Yeah.
British.
Okay. Well, you had the Spitfires and the P-35s, and there's another one I can't remember quite what it's called.
Yeah, P-35s. Those were U.S. right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, but they had a couple of different ones. The Japanese had they're called Zeros.
Zeros, yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw lots of war movies with those suckers flying around doing the kamikaze runs.
Yeah,
man, that must have been a job, eh? It's like you get up in the morning, just get into your and get into the plane, and I know you ain't coming home that night.
Well, that's because they're brainwashed there.
Oh man, they must have been brainwashed because there's no freaking way I'd drive off plowing into a battleship, just because some leader told me to.
Well, it's considered dishonorable to surrender. And they knew they were losing the war, so they're desperate because it's considered dishonorable to surrender. That's why we had hardly any Japanese prisoners of wars versus German.
Yeah, that would make sense, I suppose. Yeah.
And Mikey says Stearman aircraft became a subsidiary of Boeing in 1934. Go figure. Oh, it's the P-51 Mustangs. That's what it was.
Yeah. Mustangs. I remember that name now. Yeah.
All right. So back to the episode here. So, yeah. And Yeah. And Jim Bob's so listening. Then Grandma's sitting there giving like 20 questions with him, like asking where he calls home. You know, and this is where we found out he lives in D.C.
Yeah, well, as soon as she heard he wanted to do the barnstorming stuff, she was like, "Okay, this guy's shady." She was
Yeah.
really
Then
giving him the evil eye here.
yeah, here she questions him, goes, "Must be hard on your family." He goes, "No family," and all that. So yeah. And Jim Bob wants to talk to him about flying, but he said tomorrow after I fix the plane. And Grandma just thought that was rude. They're saying that to a young man, but the guy's probably tired and he's desperate to get his thing fixed.
See you later, young man.
No, I can't remember what. Oh, they're giving him John Boy the money there, so they're taking him into Ike there. He's gonna make the phone call.
Mm.
Oh, he's talking about all the changes too. Hey, I thought the radios. Could you actually get a decent signal on a radio in a plane back in the 30s? Because I thought the radio was still relatively new technology. I didn't even think vehicles had them yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Come to think of it, if the technology was any good back then.
Because we know how much trouble they actually have with the with the radio at home there.
Yeah. Still, didn't Amelia Earhart fly and get lost sometime in the 30s? And she had a radio on her plane, didn't she? If I remember correctly.
Well, she had like a CB radio or communicate.
Okay.
But yeah, her and her co-pilot flew. They flew from like New York to England, then they crossed over Europe and over Asia, or down through Asia there, and they're flying across the Pacific and went down somewhere over the Pacific. Then he got all these stories popping up because nobody could figure out what happened. Some of them say they crashed in the ocean. Others say they landed on a desert island. Some say they're abducted by aliens. Some people say they forcibly ditched their plane and eloped. There's all kinds of stories.
Yeah, but they never. Wasn't there some rumor that they'd found their wreckage like maybe 10 years ago? But I don't know if I don't think it actually turned out to be true.
I don't think they found wreckage, but they did find out an island there, about approximately where they think they lost contact with the plane. They did find two bodies, one of them belonging to a male and a female, matching like the age. They'd be approximately the right age and stuff. And I think and they're both Caucasian, I believe.
But how would there be no plane wreckage if there were bodies on the island?
Well, it's been 70 years.
Yeah, but you think there'd still be some of the plane left? Like, it takes a long time for a total plane to rust away, I would think. I don't know.
Well, depends on where it went down at.
I guess. Yeah. Well, the one place I would definitely not want to have to crash land in the Pacific Ocean. That would not be cool.
Well, nowadays it's not so bad because you got transmitters and everything.
Mm.
And the only plane they haven't found really is the flight M30 375 or 374 or something that went down by Indonesia. And
yeah, that's right. I remember that now. That was like about 15 years ago or something. Didn't the pilot intentionally crash the plane and kill everybody, like because he was crazy or something?
No, they don't know what the hell happened with that. Unless Jeremy, you know any updates on that?
I think Jerm might be away. It looks like he's got his mute button on.
Okay. And Mikey says many of these airmail pilots paid extra money doing flying sets and so forth. New York City showed some of the early barnstorming air shows during the Depression to boost consumer morale. Yeah, and he goes, Amelia Earhart, Fred Newland. There has been a rumor that some airplane parts near Howland Island, which was their last reported position in 1937. Yeah, the Malaysia plane. Yeah, it's still missing. They're done looking for that.
Uh-oh. Did Germ drop out?
Oh, Germ has to call it a night, so we lost Germ.
Oh, okay, well,
I was
good night,
wondering why
Germ.
he was being quiet.
Yeah, sorry for the late start. I didn't mean to delay you. It was nice
Yeah,
of you to wait for a little while. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so they're getting gas there, and they got Godsey up, and they're insisting that they pay for something. They don't know what, but Ike's gonna give him well, he's on the phone. He's telling him he has no number to reach him. That the mail's safe. But what was it?
The old tortoise show.
Yeah, tortoise shell comb. That thing was pretty.
To a girlfriend once.
That's really too much. I thank you anyway.
Oh, we missed it. I wanted to show it.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I bet Olivia likes it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that actually looks like a. Yeah, that's a real nice comb. It's made out of. Yeah. You can't make those anymore because tortoise shell. Well, it'd be expensive as hell, but tortoises are considered endangered too. So nowadays, but that is a nice looking comb. I do like the texture and the color.
It probably would have been pricey back in the 30s too, I'm guessing, because it's not like your average, black plastic comb, right?
See.
By the way, I want to say that I appreciate Mikey's research he's done on this. Man, I didn't have time to do any research on the episode at all, but Mikey's given us a lot of facts here.
Yeah. Holy crap! Some of the stuff is in the 900 some bucks now.
Ouch.
Hair comb, tortoise shell, brown owl. So it probably cost them about 50 cents or something like that. They still make them apparently.
Oh, okay. It's probably not actually made out of a tortoise's shell, I'm guessing, though. I think that might be just a name for the type of, the style of the comb, the look of the comb. I mean, I really don't know. You could be totally right for all I know, but
well, back then they
go ahead.
Back then they didn't have they didn't have much of a stuff. They probably did make about a tortoise shell. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh, hey guys. Hey, how's it going, PvP? How you feeling?
Oh, not too bad. Well, I'm relieved the work week is over, but I got my place is a mess as usual, so I got to do some heavy duty cleaning over the weekend because my boss is dropping off a laptop computer on Monday, so I got to get the place looking ship shape. So.
Oh, it's your place, not hers.
Or at least halfway decent.
Yeah, well, I want to clean it up for myself too. I tend to let the place go for weeks and weeks, and then I'm like, oh, I really need to do some cleaning.
Yeah, but Greg says tortoise meat is probably delicious. Oh, have you ever had turtle stew?
Greg.
We had turtle stew up here, but I've never had it. All right, so yeah, she says. So John's sitting here making something, with this out in the wood shop there. Yeah, Grandma wants him to quit there, and their stuff.
I've had turtle stew.
Yeah. What did it taste like? Was it like chicken?
Yeah, it tastes like chicken. Yeah, it does taste like chicken. It's weird they say that because, like, I've eaten rattlesnake meat.
And that's like
everything
chicken.
Does. Yeah. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Except people, though, right? I hear people are supposed to taste like pork. I guess the cannibals would know about that, right? At least that's what I've always heard.
Oh yeah,
it's slightly more sour than pork.
How would you know, Gorilla?
Sources.
Okay. You just researched on the internet, right? Yeah.
It's for research's purposes.
Oh my.
Sources. Okay.
Oh, we're talking the Bermuda Triangle or something here?
Yeah, he says various planes, the various missing planes in an alternate dimension. Well, there's a little known fact. I don't know if you guys know this fun fact.
No, in the Atlantic, they call it the Bermuda Triangle. Oh no. Well,
yeah, it's the Bermuda Triangle. Goes from. You there, Mikey? It's roboting. But no, the Bermuda Triangle goes from Bermuda to the Bahamas to Key West, I believe.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah.
But here's a little known fact here that very few people know. Did you know that there's more planes sitting at the bottom of the ocean than there is submarines in the sky?
Well, I would hope so. I tell you, if I see a submarine flying overhead, I know that I've probably had way too much to drink. That's for sure.
Just for that, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna go up to your neighbors above you's apartment. I'm just gonna start dangling submarines over your balcony there across the window.
Well, you'd have to dangle a real size submarine, like a full size submarine, so that might be kind of difficult, actually, Gorilla.
Hey, no, if you're that inebriated, it just make it look like it's far off. But anyhow, Germ says not all tortoises are endangered. There are several varieties that are perfectly okay to harvest. Oh, okay. Then other Greg says yummy. So anyhow, and he wants to get up early, and they said they'll have him up plenty early. And this is
any reason?
Got a feeling about that young man. I think he's hiding something.
Grandma's good at questions. She knows that something's up. She don't know what's up yet, but she knows there's something up.
Well, Grandma's got 50 or 60 years, married to Zeb, so she knows when a man's hiding something, right?
Yeah, like his whiskey, like Zeb's whiskey.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a funny episode. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Oh. This right here, this would make a beautiful poster, but it looks like nice. J.J. Abrams.
Oh no!
It looks like
you just.
It looks like J.J. No, it looks like J.J. Abrams directed this shot here with the lens flare.
Yeah, really, eh? I think the only difference is back in those days, the lens flare was probably like by accident, not intentional, and they just couldn't reshoot the scene or something.
Nah, it's just one of those that you get that every time you shoot the sun and stuff.
Oh yeah. And at least the Waltons didn't do it in every single episode like J.J. Abrams would have.
Well, this one here I didn't even notice it, but it just happened to be where we paused it.
Yeah, well, I never noticed it when I watched the episode a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even notice it either.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess probably went by pretty fast.
On it for quite a bit.
Yeah, I just put something in the chat there. That sea turtle eggs, they consider them a breakfast delicacy in most Asian countries too. So not just turtle meat, but tortoise and.
I wonder if
like that, so.
I wonder if turtle eggs are anything like chicken eggs. I wonder if they would taste like eggs or if they taste different than regular eggs.
Turtle eggs. Yeah, turtle eggs are pretty big. No, they're pretty big. They're good size.
Okay.
A lot bigger than chicken eggs, obviously. But
really?
Yeah, they're
ouch! Poor
good.
turtle.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Then Greg wants more cowbell, more lens flare.
Well, I'd say yes to the cowbell, no to the lens flare.
Yeah. And Greg says ancient Chinese secret. All right, then Mike is laughing here. So, all right. Now they got him sleeping there, Good thing the kids came in now instead of like in a couple more minutes with John there putting on the old charm on Olivia there.
Uh-oh. Well, you know what I remember? You remember that episode we watched earlier where I think they were having a conversation in bed and the kids could like hear through the wall what they were saying or
Yeah.
something. Like I'm thinking, if the kids can hear a conversation through the wall, what the hell else have they heard over the years? I'm like, wow, that's kind of shocking, actually. Oh man.
Well, it all works out. Well, it just depends on how much rocking they do, and as long as Olivia's not a screamer.
Why do you think John's got that special sock tucked away somewhere for Olivia to chew on while she's Oh man. Oh, this is getting up to the level of
I really need a disclaimer for these things. I really gotta talk to Troy.
I think I might have just topped your dominatrix line, actually, Gorilla. This is definitely not the G-rated Waltons we all know and love, right? Oh God, I can't believe I actually said that. It must be Friday night if I'm saying stuff like that.
Tearing up. I really need. I gotta really remember the message.
Next thing.
Oh, Mikey cut out again.
You know what I don't get is when you were doing that test stream last night, Mike seemed to be fine, but I couldn't get any shit to work to save my life last night on that other alternative. But Mikey sounded fine, and then on StreamYard, he always robots. It's really weird.
It's just the way they got the system set up, because like StreamYard, it goes from your system to their server where it distributes it, where all our stuff.
You're going to tell me that Elizabeth
and they handle the heavy taxing.
Yeah, I mean, if I could figure out how to make my computer work with that other streaming service, I wouldn't mind at all. But last night was hell. I was getting so frustrated trying to figure it out, but I guess I'm just not familiar with it.
Maybe have LDG take a peek into your system there and look at. I bet you it has something to do with your antivirus settings.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And Greg says most homes throughout time were so small that there was no real privacy. Yeah.
Still, you think maybe John would have put an extra layer in the wall just for.
But did he? I don't think he built the house, did he?
Oh, maybe he didn't. That could be it.
Yeah, they grow up on farms, so they gotta learn the birds and the bees somehow.
Well, I guess that's true. I guess you didn't have sex education in the schools back in those days, so got to learn some way.
Yeah. So yeah, she's feeling all upset. She's having her midlife crisis and all that.
Yeah, actually, this is a great scene. Like, this was a very for the Waltons, this scene was pretty downbeat stuff, really.
You want me to play it?
Well, it's at your discretion.
No, I could play it.
It's your channel. I don't want you to get a strike, but
yeah.
What would I be if I didn't have you and the children in this house to tell me who I am? Without all of you, I wouldn't be anything.
Yeah. So she's just thinking that if she didn't have the kids and John to take care of, she wouldn't be nothing, But she would have found something.
Well, the thing is, if she'd never met John, she would have met somebody else, I would imagine. Right? Yeah. So the thing is, it's easy to not be satisfied with your life, but if you think about where your life is and you think where it might have been, it's like we always want to imagine it would be 10 times better if we made different decisions, right? Because a lot of us make mistakes. I know I certainly have. But there's also a possibility that your life could have been a hell of a lot worse too, if you'd gone in the wrong direction or met the wrong person. So it's like flip the coin, it's like who really knows, what life brings. I mean, I guess that's one thing that makes it interesting is constantly surprises, right? So
Yeah.
Don't pay any attention to me. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and John's like trying to think of what things to say.
Barb said, "Aren't you?"
I just feel so dull and shabby and tired.
So basically, we got the gist of it. How she just go through the crisis. John has to try to cheer her up.
yeah, she's just feeling kind of burned out with her routine, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Then this happens. Yeah, so yeah, they all barge in, not even knocking. Good thing. John decided to give her an early morning birthday present of trying to get her another kid.
Didn't they actually knock twice though? I thought I heard them knock twice.
No, you just heard them coming up the stairs, probably hitting the wall. But
Okay.
even then, they didn't even wait for. I'm making you a brother here or sister here.
I kind of think they've got enough brothers and sisters at this point. They have to get a second house if they have any more.
Yeah, what's another one? John Boy's almost out of the house.
I don't know. I don't know how John's got any energy left to actually cut wood. If you know what I mean.
Well, what do you think John Boy and Grandpa are for?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're the helpful servants.
Yeah, so they're
They
getting
get out to
breakfast
the
in
mill.
bed and everything.
I guess since it is the birthday thing, it's like I guess that does kind of. Sometimes when you're having a birthday, you do tend to reflect on your life, and sometimes you do those regrets that you made of the mistakes you made do surface for a while. Though at my age, to be honest, a birthday is just another day for me. It really is, So different when you're younger, I guess.
Yeah. And here he's working on the plane and all that, and then Jim Bob comes up and bugs him.
No, Jim Bob's in heaven here looking at this plane, man.
Yeah, and John Boy just volunteered the whole family to come help him. He goes, "You got a bunch of free labor there because the pilot's grounded and all that." Sorry, hon, I can't come home. I'm grounded. Yeah, then they're hoping. So apparently they can order the part. Apparently they have all the parts they need for an airplane in Charlottesville. Apparently Charlottesville has everything.
Yeah, isn't that nice that they can order parts in like 4 hours in a small town back in the 30s? And if I want to order something now, I could be waiting like a frickin' week for it to arrive at the store that I ordered it at. It's like that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Things have gone backwards. Things have gone backwards.
Well, it all depends on where it is. It all depends on what you need too, and where it's coming from. Like if I take my car right up to the shop here, they don't have it up here at the mechanic shop. They can have it the next morning.
Well, you're lucky. Wow, that's really impressive.
Well,
I'm guessing your car is not that old. I'm guessing too, right? Which helps.
Well, they just run out to Sioux Falls to the Sturdivant's warehouse, probably. Either that Sturdivant's delivers as like a delivery van. Because we got Sturdivant's all over the place, so they probably have trucks constantly going and dropping parts off and stuff.
Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. Well, the thing is, you do have 10 times more people in the U.S., so I imagine there's 10 times more parts, repair parts available. So that kind of makes sense that they would be, easier to order. That sometimes I can get a part ordered in like in a few days if it's a common one, but my car's so damned old now. There's parts on it that they can't get anymore, right? Which is really frustrating because I know that the old beast days are numbered, but it just runs so damn good still. It might be like a 30-year-old car, but the engine is a beast, and I quite often have great fun, flying past, new cars, flying past them because my car just accelerates. I put a little bit of gas on it, and I'm gone. It's like, it's like the Millennium Falcon. It just flies.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize this here. Yeah, Mikey said agreed. Slum houses are quite overcrowded during those times.
They still are. We've got some terrible, terrible, terrible slum hotels down on the Lower Mainland. They're notoriously bad.
And okay, so now we got the girls here. They're too busy gossiping in that. Mary Ellen can't remember if she put. And this part here was so funny.
I love this scene.
Baking powder.
Just follow the recipe.
I already put in the baking powder. I get to put in the chocolate.
The chocolate's for the frosting. Now you girls be careful.
Oh, maybe I missed it. Oh, yeah, no, here, Grandma said.
Ingredients all mixed up, and you'll just waste them, and we won't have any cake at all.
Oh, did I put in baking soda or a pinch of salt?
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I just love how Grandma solves this right here.
Oh, stop it. Let me taste. Salt.
She just like, it's salt.
Well, grandma's baked a few thousand cakes in her day, so she's probably pretty good at this. Erin, of course, is totally useless as usual.
Erin, she's not being useless. Mary Ellen's being more useless than Erin.
Oh, I mean Mary Ellen. I always get those two mixed up. Damn.
Or are you talking about Elizabeth? Or are you talking about little Elizabeth just staring?
No, I'm talking about the tall one. That's Mary Ellen, right?
Yeah, Mary Ellen's older one.
Okay. I always get those. I always get the two of them confused for some reason.
Yeah, it happens.
But I tell you, I just love this scene. I laughed so hard. Grandma was getting so frustrated. I'm surprised she didn't just tell them to all go away and do something else, because she probably would have a much better chance of baking a decent cake without their assistance, actually.
Yeah.
It's like that old expression: "Too many cooks spoil the broth," or whatever the hell it is.
Oh well, there's too big cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So now they're lifted up. They're helping work out, lift the plane, use the leverage and all that. And I can't remember what they're saying here. Oh, they're talking about doing the dishes. She's gonna go have a nice walk. So, yeah, so they're helping them get this all fixed up and ready to go. And he's this guy telling them what they do in their mill. I didn't know they made the pulp. Oh, what the pulp? What is wood pulp anyhow?
Well, it would be the pulp made from wood. I'm pretty sure of that. But actually, what the process to do that is, I have no clue. And I'm not sure that they'd have the means to actually do that, but could be, I guess. Oh, would that possibly be like the wood shavings when they cut a lot of timber and they have a lot of shavings?
No, that's just sawdust.
Yeah,
but it says pulp.
If you mix the sawdust with water or certain concoction, might it not turn into pulp? I'm just guessing, but
Yeah, hey, Pop, how's it going?
Wow.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Pop. I thought you were growling at us for a second there.
Oh, it's my dogs. I'm sorry.
No, it's no worries. No worries at all.
Yeah.
PvP, I wanted to explain to you. Sorry, go ahead, Gorilla.
Mike was just saying the pulp is basically the sap and the tree shavings baked paper. That's all.
PvP, I wanted to explain to you about firewalls, what we were talking about last night.
Okay.
You do not want more than one on your computer. I think when Jill recommended AVG, yes, AVG is a good program, but I don't. When she told you that, I don't think she was aware that you already had another one running.
Oh, I'll have to
If
check
you told,
then.
yeah, if you told her that you also have Microsoft running, I'm sure she was going to say no, then don't run both.
I'll have to check and see if I do have two running, because I could obviously disable AVG's firewall and leave the rest of the settings.
I've been using.
I'm guessing, right?
Microsoft notoriously used to always be the worst.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's why. That's why I got AVG.
Right, but I've been using it and it's been okay.
Yeah. I got to say, before I had AVG, I never had any issues with computer viruses or anything.
Right, AVG is kind of obsolete now.
Well, the thing I don't like about AVG is it's nagware. It constantly, every couple of days, it'll tell you need to upgrade this or you need to upgrade that. I just ignore it, of course. I just, I click no and I don't accept it. But
and that defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Well, I got several things protected. I think it's protecting my emails and a few other things. But
your emails don't need protection unless you go out of your way to open up spam. Do you do that?
No, actually, what I
of course not. I know.
Well, I use an online email service based in Switzerland.
Doesn't matter. I'm saying
it's really good.
That's not the point. The point is you got too much shit running, which is bogging down your system. You don't need an email filter.
I know. I'm a lot.
The only time you need an email filter is if you're someone that opens up your spam and clicks on the links, and I doubt you do that.
Well, the thing is, I've got. Now let me take just a quick look and see. I've got a Switzerland-based online email called Proton Mail, and I
know what it is. It doesn't matter where it's from. It doesn't matter.
I've had it for years, but it seems to be very secure. I've never had one single problem with it. It works like a charm. It works much better than when I had my old email through my internet provider, which sucked. So yeah.
Well, I was thinking one of your issues with that Restream or whatever might be that you don't have a camera at all.
Could be. Well, maybe I'll just have to get a cheap camera sometime.
No. Don't buy a camera yet. Do like Gorilla says. Talk to LDG first. He'll know. He'll figure it out if it is.
I'll have to do that next weekend because this weekend I'm not sure what my agenda is because I do have a lot to do.
Hold on.
I'm still going to try and pop on streams like this when I can, but I do have other shit I need to do. So.
Well, there's no hurry, but I'm just saying is.
No, I would like to get it figured out.
No, what I'm saying is when it comes to background programs, you only run what's necessary. You don't run a whole shitload of stuff hoping it's going to prevent the problems, because that's not the problems. The problems are going to be you're running too much shit.
No,
Believe me, I've worked on computers, and a lot of the time, especially when it comes to Windows and PCs, I spent more time just removing shit because people are overkilling, which is just bogging down their computer and causing issues.
Oh yeah, I think what you're saying is totally valid, but see, I'm so clueless a lot of the time when it comes to technology.
Well, isn't that your
sometimes I don't even realize that I'm running something, right? So
doesn't that computer belong to your job?
Oh no. My job computer is strictly for the job.
So you have two computers at your house?
Yes, I have two. I have two desks, one across from the other. I can just swivel my office chair around to one or swivel it around the opposite direction to the other one. I use the work computer is strictly for work. My boss told me that it's not for fun. And I told her,
okay,
well, that's
I understand that
because I have my gaming computer on the other desk, right? So
all right. So okay, have you ever heard of the antivirus software called Norton Utilities?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard of the one called McAfee?
Yes.
Okay, one of the biggest issues that I often ran into is people would be running both.
Oh, that's not good.
And the call I would get was, my computer's slow. Well, or it won't open this and it won't open that because I'm telling you, seriously, the biggest, and that's Jill.
Oh, I get it.
To confirm it, the biggest issue people have is they're running too much shit on their computer.
Yeah, well, I probably am. I'm not denying that I am, Pop. And actually, when you bring up Norton, when I first got my computer, like 23 years ago or whatever it's been now, back in like 1998, I had Norton for a while, and I just found it was just such a hog, like just a hog. I just basically just got rid of it after a few months because I just got fed up with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I never put Norton on my computer ever.
Yeah,
again.
we made a lot of money from Norton and McAfee because people would have both of them installed, and they would call us and say, "How come my computer isn't working?"
I never had McAfee, and I never wanted it, so because I think
it's
that's
not necessary. I mean, it's okay, but it's not necessary.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's much more streamlined, like AVG. That will do the job, but it's not such a big memory hog.
Yeah, I'll have to check into it. If I end up chatting with Jill at all this weekend, which I'm not really planning on at this point because I got stuff to do, but if I do get in touch with her, I might just send her a tweet and say, what do you think about this or that? But
well, the important keywords you want to use is to let her know that you're using the Microsoft built-in antivirus program. And then if you want to say, is it okay to have that and the AVG firewall? And I'm sure she's going to say no, because you never have more than one firewall running.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the Microsoft is the default setting, right? Because I never actually switched it on, so it's probably just running in the background, I'm guessing.
Are you running Windows 10?
10. I am running Windows 10.
That's the default.
Yeah, because my work computer has got 11. My work computer has 11, and I really don't like it. I think it's much less intuitive and more clunky than 10. I think 10's a much.
That's
better
how it always is. Yeah, every time they go to a newer version, it stinks.
Oh, I'll never switch to 11. It's like f that. Anyway,
Gorilla, I want to apologize for missing Gilligan's Island.
No, it's totally fine. I understand.
My fucking. I swear when I see my doctor, I'm going to punch her right in the motherfucking face and then kick her in the cunt because she fucking lied. She gave me the chemo on Monday and it knocked my fucking ass out this week. So the bitch fucking lied. Because remember I told you guys on Monday she said that this new dose, whatever, wouldn't do that. And she fucking lied.
You mentioned You mentioned that you had talked to her about having less side effects.
Yeah, because I told her, I said, if this keeps up like this, I said, I'm not going to take the dosage anymore because it's killing me. Oh, don't worry, we're going to change your medication where it won't do that anymore. I said, are you sure? She said, yes. Well, here I am a week later, all fucked over. Cunt.
Well, you got to. The thing is, you've got to find a decent doctor because they're not all good.
Oh, it's like shopping around for mechanics. I don't have time to shop around, but it's not like the lottery or something that I'm hoping to win.
Well, I would
They're
tell
all
you
in
about
it for the money, and she's a perfect proof of that.
I would tell you about what happened to me this week, but I don't want to, I don't want to sidetrack Gorilla's stream with the Waltons, so I'll save that for later. That's another story.
Well, maybe Saturday. Tomorrow.
I had a few phone calls from a couple of doctors about a medical scan I had recently, so it was quite interesting, the two different opinions I got. I still haven't talked to either one of them in depth, which I will be doing actually next Friday on the 24th. I'm scheduled to talk to both of them.
We can talk about it tomorrow if you want. If I feel like having the rum.
Well, I hope you're well enough.
Now, I feel like shit. I'm serious. I feel like killing that fucking bitch.
You don't sound happy.
Cunt.
You don't sound happy. I'm really sorry to hear you're feeling bad, Paul.
No, here I'm on day 4 of no food. It's the usual. Feeling like shit, can't move, can barely move. And then every day I have to go for x-rays and I'm having to drag my ass in. I want to kill that fucking cunt. I'm not kidding. I'm going to tell her off fucking left and right. Sorry, go ahead, Gorilla.
All right. Yeah, Mike here says pulp was like the tree sap. The tree shave used to make paper. Oiler Greg says me and everyone I know always celebrate our birthdays. My dad did all his life. He lived to 78. Oiler Greg says stay positive and live longer and happier. The Swiss are sneaky. Beware. Adam 12, see the man with computer issues. Code 2. I have no idea what he's referencing. Mikey says, my dad turned 79 this month, Oiler. Awesome, Mikey. Happy birthday to him. Rip your dad. He says, thank you, Greg. Says, thanks, it was long ago, but I remember him. Well, he's not really gone if you always remember him. Mikey says, I still use Windows Defender, and that antivirus still works for my PC. I've got Windows 10. I'm enjoying watching the Marvels flop. Yeah, did you hear about that? Did you guys hear about the Marvels flopping? Then I had to meet our fire alarms going off again. Okay. So on to our episode here. And they just says okay, goodbye. No, they got grease. So Olivia is coming to see him, you know. And she talks about how she dreams of flying and stuff. Stuff there. PvP, you still here? PvP? Oh, I must be talking about.
I can hear you, Gorilla. I had to feed my dogs real quick. But I don't know where PvP is at. Maybe you had to step away for a minute.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So.
By the way, the guy playing the pilot, Paul Michael Glazer. Yes, he was in the show that PvP was talking about called Starsky and Hutch. But since then, he's been officially Me Too'd. He was doing a stage play a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and apparently he was groping women and all this kind of shit. So yeah, his career's over.
Yeah. Well, he seems like he had the charm for it.
Hey, are we back to the episode yet?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, good.
if you can call being Me Too charm. Usually, like Harvey Weinstein, it's usually the lack of charm.
Well, with Harvey Weinstein, he convinced people that the only way to get a job in Hollywood is you go through me, and you got to do me a little favor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? How women are denying that now. Oh, I never did that. Yeah, right. A lot of women got their careers from that.
Yeah.
Yes, there were women that were smart enough to say "fuck no," but there were definitely women who went for that and said, "Okay, I'll do it." Well, and then when all that Me Too shit kicked in, they all denied it. Oh no, we never did that bullshit.
Well, that is kind of an interesting point, isn't it, Pop? That Harvey got away with what he did for many years.
Yes,
and yet all these women that he did, whatever he did to them, they didn't say anything.
Not a word until everything came out, and then it was popular. The dog pile. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Me Too became a thing, and it's like everybody loves to jump on the bandwagon, right?
Of course, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, many actresses they would not have had a career without that.
Anyway, thankfully, Michael Learned had a good career without that, and she actually has a channel on YouTube. Did you know that?
No, I didn't check it out if that's the case.
She's still alive.
Is it her name?
She's still alive. Yeah, Michael Learned.
Yeah, I told you she did that Jeffrey Dahmer thing last year.
Oh, did she? I didn't see that. Yeah, she's still
I
active.
was telling you last week she plays his mother.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
It's called Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's good. Actually. It's good. Check it out. But while you were away,
would that be good for the horror stream, perhaps?
It's a mini series.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So possibly not.
Yeah, it's like 9 episodes. But anyway, okay. I was telling Gorilla when you're away from the mic, Paul Michael Glazer, who he went on to do Starsky and Hutch, but what brought up the discussion of Me Too is apparently he was groping women at a play a few years ago that he was directing. So he's been Me Too'd and
bad idea. I wouldn't. I'm afraid to actually smile at a woman these days, Paul. It's just
you can't.
You
cannot. Right? When I was working for the schools, now we're talking a long time. This was like 2009, 10. There was a guy who worked on computers. I mean, he wasn't very bright and he wasn't very good looking. But he's the type where there was a team of computer techs that would go around the schools fixing computers. and he was at the office of a school, and he asked this one lady in the office if she was married. That was enough to get him fired. I mean, even the union didn't even step in.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Geez, that seems like a pretty innocuous question to me.
I know. But guess what? If he was good looking and rich, what's that?
Well, maybe he just wanted to get to know her as a person, and maybe
doesn't matter. It never got that far, right?
Anyway, hey, we should.
Can you imagine if he was good looking and rich? You think the same thing would have happened?
Well, probably not. We should get back to the episode, perhaps. So, Pop.
Yeah, Gorilla's here somewhere, right?
I'm guessing Gorilla's going to get tired in a while and want to end this. So
yeah, it's 9:15 for him.
Yeah, so we still got time, but
So Olivia's sitting there. She's talking to the pilot. And she's just dreaming about going skyward and all that. And
in the war.
yeah, his pop flew these biplanes in the war, so he wasn't in the World War One. His dad was. So then here they come. So John Boy's in the barn. He finds this this book here with all these pictures. I'll just play the scene. Then this is when he find his pictures here with this gal. We find out later his name is Sue Cooper. That's his wife and all that.
Yeah, funny how those pictures were all taking. Funny how all those pictures were taking at the same place the plane is now, isn't it? They never thought audiences back then would think, yeah, you can see the mountains. It's not exactly an airport.
Daddy, look at this. Where'd you find that? It fell out of his flat bag. I was getting him some safety wire.
Oh, I'll replay. Okay, so yeah. So anyhow, so they're all to the same place, okay.
Of course it is. They just didn't think people in the 70s would realize that.
I didn't even pay attention to it, really, I guess.
Yeah, well, for a guy that said he didn't have a family at the beginning of the episode, it's like, okay, I can see why Grandma kind of saw through you.
Yeah. And other Greg says axle grease and duct tape fixes most things. So anything. Yep. And the YC Bros were both pure evil, found out almost too late. But thankful for the actresses who were brave enough to expose them.
Brave. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one person was brave and the rest like, ooh, I can get some money.
Wait. If it was brave, they would have spoken up when it happened. They only did it because it was an opportunity to make a name for themselves. It was not bravery. But remember, if it was bravery, they would have spoken up when it happened. Bravery is not 7 years later. God. People need to look at their definition of words.
Anyway, back to the episode.
So yeah, Olivia and him are still talking out there. And she's wondering what's like flying through clouds and stuff. That's where she mentioned she just likes to see just once.
I think when I think back to that earlier scene with Pa in the bed, and she was feeling down and depressed because of her birthday and feeling kind of like she hadn't really done much with her life, even though I think she's done a lot with her life. I think Olivia's got an amazing life. But do you think I'm not saying she has a thing for our pilot here, but she is kind of enamored with him because he represents something more exotic and exciting, flying away and having adventures and having the life that she never had.
That's what I think. If anything, yeah. I don't think it's. I think at the most maybe she's a little smitten, but it reminds her of her youth.
Exactly. Yeah, and it reminds me of maybe if she'd had a different life where she had a little more adventure in it. But I think Olivia's very lucky to have such a great, family.
Well, he's probably jealous of her with having the family and all the kids.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Well, he's scared. Well, we'll find out later here. We'll talk about that when
actually it does get all tied up at the end. Yeah, that's true.
I'd be curious to ask the Waltons, have you guys ever heard of the word contraception?
Do you think there was any, or
I don't
Yes.
know. Was it even legal in the 30s?
Well, they had condoms.
Yeah, no, but they didn't have the pill or anything. But I think the way Olivia and Grandma, as they're raised with the Baptists, then back then, I think the church might have frowned upon it.
Well, they did frown upon, not if you're married. But they did have condoms. They weren't as reliable as they were now. But one old-fashioned tactic I heard of from my grandma was after they copulated, is what the woman would wash herself out with a hose.
I heard that. You ever heard that old story about a woman would get a bottle of like Coca-Cola and use that instead of the hose? That's probably
No.
just an old wives' tale, but I remember hearing that crazy story years ago.
That's like the old story, which I think was true, where women used to use turkey basters to get pregnant.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that story too. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, he says he's gonna buzz the house to do a loop tube for her. So basically, they're just kind of doing the flirtating a little bit back and forth, but nothing like serious. I gotta show the camera. Yeah, I gotta show the camera work on. Let's do this. The camera work on this was just beautiful.
I was going to say, Gorilla, I heard you earlier. I was listening about the stock footage. I don't think it was stock footage.
And now there was quite a bit. You could see how grainy it was getting. Like they were bouncing back and forth pretty fast in between stock footage and footage filmed for this. You know,
I was looking on my phone. You could be right. Yeah. Oh, is this a biplane?
It is.
Yes.
I rode in one.
Propeller. Yeah, it's the old Stearman something. The Stearman. Let me scroll back up here. Because the Stearman Model 75. Yeah, it's the Stearman Model 75. There's only like 10,000 of them made. So anyhow, I wanted to really show the camera work on this here. Because she's sitting here dreaming of flying, and the camera was... Oh, she's skipping it. It's rocking them back and forth. Yeah, it's almost... It's like you can tell they're still on the ground, but they're making it like she's daydreaming of flying and turning the plane and all that. This was very good camera work, in my opinion. I'm not sure about you guys. What you guys think?
I don't know. I'd have to watch it.
No, I think it was a cool scene. Because we so seldom see Olivia get caught up in, well, literally a flight of fancy in a way, right?
Yeah, and then not only that, but they made it look like it'd be like if they're actually flying, but we can tell they're still on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, I didn't watch this episode, but why didn't he take her up in the air?
It's coming.
Okay.
He's an airmail man. He flew for the U.S. Postal, and he's grounded right now.
I saw where he was grounded, where he was having trouble with his engine, right?
Yeah, he was having oil pressure issues there. So, yeah. And what was
going to do in the meanwhile?
Oh, yeah, John Boy there. She wants to go up in the thing there. This is where, that's actually a pretty cool model that he's building. And this guy's appreciating, they're talking about him building it, and he talks about flying with Jim Bob. He kept his promise and stuff.
Yeah, that was nice.
And Jim Bob's like, ask him, like, why doesn't he like children? And he goes, who says that? It's like, I don't want, you don't act like you like children and all that. Then Jim Bob just kind of goes off how it sucks being like the youngest, you know. He gets blamed for everything, even if he didn't do it. He gets yelled at, but he doesn't get a chance to yell back. I was like, well, I always got a chance to yell back at my sisters, but if I yelled back at my parents, I'd be getting popped in the mouth. But that's a whole different song. All right, well, let's see where I said that. I think this episode deserves a solid B plus because of Cooper, Walton, and flatuation there. And by definition, Papa, women were ashamed and waited almost too long. But yes, as soon as others came forward is when they wanted to make a name for themselves they could have lived in.
What?
Shame and secret. Oh, he's talking about the whole Weinstein thing there.
That doesn't make them heroes.
Yeah.
They were not ashamed. You don't say, "Oh, I'm ashamed." Yes, I'll go ahead and go in bed with you. No, but that's okay. Our opinions can differ.
Yeah. So this is they're gonna go check to see if the parts came into Ike Godsey's there, and everybody goes along.
Don, you think you could do without me for a little while? No. Try.
Yeah, I like that. He asked permission. He says no. He goes, well, try anyway. He's gonna do it anyhow. I was laughing. I laughed so hard at that part right there because I think Grandpa just wants to go to the store and get away from all this.
Well, Pa's probably thinking Grandpa doesn't have too many years left, so we better work the hell out of him while he's still around.
Yeah. So they go in there. He tells them they haven't opened the presents yet, but here comes the parts. Then we get this gal open up, and John Boy quickly recognizes her. Yeah, I was laughing there. He's like, "Oh, fucking city folks are coming in."
That was a good line. Yeah,
they're always in a hurry.
That was good. Always in a hurry. That was a great line too. Which is a lot of truth in that, actually. I remember I lived in Vancouver. You walk down the street and everybody was walking along at a super quick pace.
Yeah, the job boy quickly recognizes her, or so they're gonna take him up to the. So Ike volunteers them to take him up to their place, to meet him. So they come along and he introduces them, and then they're like, and Grandma finally gets up. And Grandpa knew Grandma's like, now I know what he is hiding. So,
yeah, Grandma's suspicions were proven correct.
Yeah, and that plane doesn't take a lot of gas, apparently. And it's like, crap, she found me. She followed over here. So, yeah. So then they have started arguing. And the reason he's trying to ditch his wife, which I don't know how that actually worked out in the 30s because they didn't have no-fault divorce back then. Someone would have had to screw up majorly for him to get granted a divorce.
I think most guys would just go out to buy a pack of cigarettes and never come back, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, well she chased him down, and she just wants to stay married to him, and they can go off and do their thing, and her and the baby can do their thing, He doesn't want to hold him back, but he just wants to go do his thing.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to it soon. I don't want to give spoilers away if anybody's still worried about those, but
yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
Okay.
So yeah, they're sitting there arguing back and forth. He's trying to leave her. So yeah,
it's an interesting conversation here because it does kind of switch around shortly after this.
Yeah. So yeah, then they're showing the pictures there. And this is the scene I wanted to play.
Thanks to you, folks.
Hey, just that the good old. I don't know. I noticed his eyes there. He made his eyes look like he's deep thinking. He just did that deep breath, like he wants to say something, but he doesn't know what he wants to say right at the second.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Walton.
Sure.
How long you been married?
Presumably 20 years.
Yeah. Did you notice that smile that John had on his face when he said it's almost been 20 years?
Well, you know, the other thing I'm thinking, they've got what, 7 kids, is it, in the Walton family?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, so Olivia pumped out 7 kids in 20 years. That woman is a horse for sure.
Yeah. Well,
and she raised them and she fed them.
I don't want to get spoilers for future episodes, but yeah, at least
I've seen women pump them out faster.
Yeah, well, back in those days, I guess it was a more common thing, right, Pump?
Well, back in those days, they needed help on the farm. That's why they did it. But these days, there's no reason. When I was a teacher, I saw them do it for welfare.
Well, back
so
then,
I saw them piping out 2 kids a year.
Back then, well, 9 months, so it'd be like every 18.
Right. There was one, and I'm not exaggerating. There was one where he jumped up on top of his wife when she was in the hospital after giving birth to a baby. But Bob jumped up on top of her. That's how bad it was, because they did it for more welfare. They knew that it was more welfare.
That's a bit gross, actually. I think you'd
It
want
is.
to let your lady, like, maybe
Well,
for a week.
I know.
No, you're supposed to wait. You're supposed to wait 6 weeks before you have sex again.
That sounds pretty disgusting, actually.
Now you're desperate for more welfare. Unfortunately, that's what the system has created.
Well, I guess the thing is, back in the 30s, there were. I don't think there was any kind of established pension either for older people. So they
Social Security wasn't really big yet, but
yeah,
it was 2 things. They needed help on the farm, plus more kids were dropping from diseases.
That's another thing. Yeah,
like tuberculosis, what they used to call consumption.
Oh, just anything,
stuff like that. General. Right. But these days, it's because of welfare. It's money. Unfortunately,
not surprising.
All right.
Anyway, back to the episode.
You have got the feeling you were fat.
No, I know a lot of fellas feel that way about marriage. I never have.
Yeah, I think John's just bullshitting him on that. He was saying that he's never felt trapped. You know, every guy feels that at least once or twice in a relationship.
But John never says to him, "Stay away from my wife." He never sees anything going on here.
No,
John's
nothing ever. He trusts Olivia. He trusts Olivia.
Well, no, I know he does, and they're not going to give the audience doubt to not trust Olivia, right?
Well, the thing is, John's a good-natured person by temperament, and you'd have to really cross him in a meaningful way for him to actually get his back up and start to go on the offense.
Right, but I'm saying is he's not stupid, he's not naive, and you don't want to.
Oh, he's a very intelligent man.
Right, and you don't want to cross the red. Never mind.
He's a very smart guy.
I'm just going to mute here.
And Mikey says it's ironic that the guest stars Glacier and Cobb both acted along with David Saul. Look at those pilot boots on Glacier, LOL. And welcome, Cody Guy. Welcome.
Hello, Cody.
And Mikey says, "Hey, Cody." All right.
I find this scene very interesting. How it flips, how his character flips.
Oh yeah. Well, John could do that. I think John's in the wrong profession. He should have been like a professional counselor or something, or advice giver or something.
Marriage counselor.
Oh, not only that. He's good at giving advice about anything, really.
He's a wise man.
Yeah.
Me.
How's that?
I don't feel the way I'm supposed to about that baby.
How do you think you're supposed to feel?
Whatever it is you share with those kids of yours.
Yeah. Well, I think that's normal for any guy. Like, the women are always excited, and the guy's like always kind of hesitant. He doesn't know how he feels until he actually gets to hold his kid in his hands, in his arms.
He thinks it's going to tie him down.
Yeah, good point, Pop. I think he's a kind of a literally a free flying kind of character. happy-go-lucky, and he likes to live life day to day. The excitement of living day to day when you're on your plane and you never know what's going to happen next. So to have the responsibility of having a kid and raising a kid and being a father and a husband is kind of freaked him out, I think.
Yeah. So
I've never been around families much. But being here has proved to me I don't feel what a father feels. With Sue, it's different. She loves that baby. I don't feel anything but trapped.
Yeah. Yeah. And nowadays, you know how they're kind of like taking their time a little bit with the scene? Like maybe it's a little fluffed out a little bit, for the time, but also it gives that emotional toll. You don't get that with much stuff these days. It's like, gotta go boom, 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 but here they're taking their time with the conversation and actually expressing the emotions, instead of trying to go boom, 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 boom through the scenes. If that makes any sense.
That makes total sense. Like, well, that's why I love, TV from the 60s and 70s, particularly, even into the 80s. For one thing, you had great actors that actually gave a crap. They'd actually learn their lines, and they'd show up ready to work and deliver the lines in a very well done dramatic fashion. And you also had great writers who would give them a script to work with that was good and solid. And the writers wrote scenes where you could have two characters like this, talking for several minutes on end. And you'd have to, I mean, actors back then could deliver lines. They could go for like a minute or two, no problem, right? Just one straight scene, no cuts, no editing. They just deliver line after line of dialogue, and they knew it, right? And that's the difference. What we have now, it's all like jump cut, jump cut, jump cut, just like you're saying. It's like,
well, because now they use cue cards.
They have to do it in editing, right, Pop? It's all done in editing.
Well, they don't bother. Back then, they'd have the entire script memorized before they walked on the set.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm going to use him as an example again. Johnny Depp, he doesn't bother to learn a single line. He has them hold up cue cards.
Oh yeah,
that's how a lot of them do now. They don't give a shit.
And they get paid way too much to not give a shit.
Then, then that also instills in the problem too. There, like nowadays, if you ask like to change a couple lines in the script, it's like the end of the world to some of these writers. Back then, like Lost in Space is a perfect example with what's his name, Richard Harris.
No, not Richard Harris. Okay, now I'm picturing Richard Harris as Dr. Smith.
Who plays
so funny.
Who plays Dr. Smith?
It's funny you mentioned that. It's Jonathan Harris, but it's funny you mentioned that because I always thought Richard Harris was gay.
Oh my god, I'm going to have visions of Richard Harris playing Dr.
Okay,
Smith.
I'm looking this up. Where did I get Richard from? Richard Harris from.
Well, there is an actor named Richard Harris. There is an actor named Richard Harris. But he was feminine. That's why I always thought he was gay. So it's funny you mentioned his name.
But Richard Harris was very famous. Like that's probably why Gorilla popped into girls.
I'm looking to see what he acted in.
Well, he was one of those. I think one of his last roles was probably the Harry Potter movies. It seems like a lot of the British actors ended up doing that towards the end.
Oh, okay. He's in the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay. Harry Potter. Okay, he played Dumbledore, didn't he?
I don't know. I didn't see them, but it seemed like every British actor was in those at some point. Like Star Trek. Everybody was in Star Trek at some point.
Yeah, he was Dumbledore in the until he died. There he's in the first like 3 or 4 movies. No,
Who
3 movies.
Them? Well, never mind. It doesn't matter.
He just passed away too. I'll just say he just passed away too, not too long ago. Who played Dumbledore?
I'm surprised they didn't get Christopher Lee in there.
Wasn't Christopher Lee dead though by then?
No. Remember he did the Star Wars sequels, whatever the hell those things are called.
Michael Gambon. Gambon.
I know Jack about Harry Potter, so I totally agree.
Same here.
Yeah,
by the way, I'm just looking at Harris's career here, and he did a lot of great films. Like he did The Guns of Navarone, Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah. I think
The
his
guy
biggest achievement, I think, was A Man Called Horse.
he's got like probably 40 or 50 films in his filmography. I'm looking up here. Unforgiven. He was. Oh yeah, he played the English Bob or whatever in
Yes.
Unforgiven. That was a great role. Damn,
Yeah.
he was a good actor. He really was, and he's got a pretty good handful of TV episodes and stuff too. So, yep, very very successful actor.
Yeah, he was in a really horrible movie called The Stuntman, and cable TV back in the 80s and 90s used to show that movie repeatedly.
Oh, you didn't
And
like
it-
The Stuntman?
Hell no, because it didn't make no sense. He was supposed to be a famous stuntman, but he acted like a far
I wonder if that's a, I wonder
gay
if that's
person.
I wonder if
And
there's
it was
two.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, Pop, if there's two different movies with the same
I
title.
might have the name mixed up, but I know it was him playing a retired stuntman.
I think
But he
that's
was
a
very
different movie
feminine,
than
so it
what I
never
saw.
made sense.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look it up.
All right, so
I'm sure I saw a
give you this-
movie with a different guy.
All right, let's continue the scene here.
No, there's nothing wrong with feeling trapped. I felt that way a few times, way back.
There's just something about John with the way he does his eyes there. I don't know what it is quite though. Like,
He's such a great actor.
Yeah, he looks down, then he looks up, like it's almost like he's looking you straight in the eye, you know. But he's saying what I was saying here earlier.
Well, you know,
Hold one of your babies.
What PvP?
Well, if you want to continue the scene, I can wait.
Okay.
Arms, diapered for a while. You begin to feel different.
Well, I sure don't picture myself doing that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he's pretty much saying what I was saying earlier.
Well, you know, the thing I find interesting about John Walton's character is, you know, he was such a great actor playing that character, and he was so emotive. Like he could express so much with his eyes, with a grin, with a facial expression, which I always have thought is the sign of a truly excellent actor. Because a lot of actors they just can't do that. They just don't have the range, right? But he had the range, and he used it all through the series. And yeah, I just think another great performance. You know.
Yeah. So.
You get used to it.
What am I going to do, Mr. Walton?
In my experience, most people end up doing pretty much what they want to do.
What do you mean?
Got that airplane out there, all ready to go, just waiting for you. Here you are talking about her.
Yeah, so I think he just needed that kick in the ass from John, really, to tell him not to go.
John's given a reality check, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's more important, having a wife and a child to call your own and raise as best you can, or flying off in a freaking airplane and doing some air shows and making a few bucks? Like, what really will give you more happiness 20 or 30 years down the road? Think about it, bud.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of that scene there.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, he's saying he really does. So he's just thinking about it. John's telling her she's still at the house. So then we got John Boy coming out here, and he reads her a poem. I can't remember what the poem was called.
I can't remember I don't even know what the damn poem meant, actually. I was
Yeah.
totally confused. I'm like, this is way over my brain level, this poem. It's like way too deep for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the poem. It was a sweet poem and all that nobody understands. Afterwards, I probably didn't even understand.
I think he does explain it to Olivia after he finishes reading it, Gorilla, but I can't remember exactly because I watched this on Wednesday. So
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm saving my next copyright claim for the song. Here,
yeah,
so
sounds good.
yeah. So everybody's coming in here. He goes, birthday's ready. He drags you along into the house. They got the cheers, Oh, so.
And then we got a birthday cake.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, there's not nearly enough candles on this thing. But here is a song that Jason wrote.
Uh-oh.
Mama. Dear Mama, it's your birthday. It's a special day for you. We hope your day is happy and your wishes all come true. We think that you're the greatest in every little way. That's why I sing this birthday song on this your special day.
No, that was a good song that he wrote. He's really a jack of all trades there because he could play the piano. He could play, piano and organ are the same instrument, just one has tubes. He could play the guitar and he could play the harmonica and all that. So he really knows how to play. But did you also notice in the background, they're just sitting there holding each other like John actually put the swift kick in his ass that he needed, that they're actually holding each other in the background.
Yeah, well, yeah, I kind of find that slightly unbelievable because all of a sudden they're so cuddly.
Well, she chased after him, and maybe they had the talk. Hey, I had a talk with the old man there, and he was right. I apologize, Sue. Blah blah blah. Kiss ass off screen.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, but still, I know John. John is really very great at giving advice, but it seems like one little lecture is not going to totally change somebody's mindset. That was the only criticism I have of the episode. Even though I'm glad it did, and I'm glad we had our happy ending, and it's the Walton's ending kind of thing, right? So, yeah, I'm fine with it, and I do love the song. Like, man, he is talented. Like for a young kid too. He's very talented as a musician. So,
yeah. Okay. And before we continue here, Mikey says John needs to convince Mr. Cooper that he can still be a great husband and father, but still able to enjoy his passing fancy of flight. Yeah? And Christopher Lee did Lord of the Rings as Saruman the White. And Mikey also says, I think the poem comes from the novel Rites of Spring.
Wow.
Okay.
Knowledgeable.
Christopher Lee, I know he did Lord of the Rings. Who brought that up?
Mikey.
I don't know. I'm confused. I'm so surprised he didn't do Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, they got Michael Gambon to replace
You got somebody there
Richard Harris.
just reading Google all night long, apparently.
So, anyhow, this is where she wasn't going to tell her wish, but this is when, as a thank you, he's going to take her up for a flight in his plane. Because he knows that's what she really wants. It's a thank you for all her hospitality and what he really all the advice. Oh, and John gives her a mirror. I'm wondering, did he make that himself? I'm wondering if he made that himself, or
you have to heat sand to extremely hot temperatures, so that's very unlikely.
No, but I'm wondering if he got the mirror part.
He may have carved the frame. Right, he may have gotten the glass and then carved the frame because they whittled a lot back then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because he owns the sawmill for that. So I wonder if he made the frame and everything and he just bought the glass.
That's how you do it, right?
Yeah. And she loves it. She's loving her birthday and everything. And I'm guessing that's Jim Bob's bomber hat that she's wearing because it looks a little small in her head. Now, I don't know the purpose of wearing the hat on the plane, but I guess it's to keep your head warm. So the wind doesn't get you too cold?
Well, we got bugs up there, too.
I suppose.
Especially
yeah. Well, he's not crop dusting, but yeah.
No, what I'm saying is you're going to get bugs in your hair and your eyes and your teeth and all that crap.
Yeah.
California, you can tell it's California.
Yeah. So here's your tax money at work here, but actually they gave him free labor, so it's the least he could do is give the mom a flight in the plane, and she's just loving it. There.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah, this is pretty much the end of the episode. So where we go to our epilogue.
Did you ever look up where they shot this gorilla? Is it Malibu Canyon?
I can look it up here in a second.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure where the location shots were done for Waltons. I imagine there's probably a few different ones over the season.
If I remember right, it's CBS, and it looks like the same. If you pay attention, it looks like the same locations as MASH, and that was Malibu Canyon, is where they did a lot of that. They even did Star Trek.
Really?
Shortly was shot in Malibu Canyon.
I don't remember MASH having mountains like that. Maybe.
Oh yeah, don't you remember the opening scene where the helicopter flew over the mountain? Remember?
I do remember the mountains, but I don't remember them looking exactly like what we're seeing here.
Well, Malibu Canyon used to be used a lot for TV shows and movies.
Well, I'd have to research it to be sure, but
MASH is filming at the same time as this, so probably.
By the way,
MASH was filmed kind of towards the latter part of this, if anything, I guess.
By the way,
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I just want to let you know, the stuntman you were talking about is a totally different film than what I saw.
I was looking it up, and I was confused with My Favorite Year with Richard O'Toole.
Yeah, the stuntman has got Peter O'Toole starring in it, as well as Steve Railsback, which I think is very good in that film. And I think it's a very interesting film. It's kind of challenging, but it's not a bad film actually. Kind of unusual.
I was thinking of My Favorite Year. I had my movies mixed up. I was thinking of My Favorite Year.
You didn't like My Favorite Year?
No.
Oh, I love that film. I thought Peter O'Toole was hilarious in that.
That's fine.
That's one of my favorite comedies. But
I think what burned me out was because, like I said, cable TV was showing those movies over and over and over and over.
I've only seen it like maybe 3 times over the years, so maybe you saw it too much. That was one of Peter O'Toole's later films, though, right? Not too many years before he ended his career.
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Late 70s.
Yeah. I just thought it was... Well, what I really liked about the film, actually, Pop, I'll just quickly mention it, was kind of a exploration of 1950s television and all the tropes that were going on back then, which is probably the main reason I enjoyed it so much. Plus, I enjoyed Peter O'Toole's performance as a drunken idiot because that was kind of funny too. So I like that film. I haven't seen it in years though.
Yeah, I'm not finding the information you were asking about, Pop. I'm not finding the information. I'm not being able to find the information you're asking about.
I found it.
Okay.
Warner Brothers Studio rear lot, which means probably the same location.
Okay. So anyhow, the epilogue says, today, great passenger planes plow through those skies above the Virginia mountains. Last year, one of them brought my mother to see us in California, where I now live. We're expecting her again soon, and no doubt our thoughts and our memories will return to those early times when the era we called depressed was so very, very good. Alrighty, so that's pretty much our episode there.
That's great. Great episode again. Well, the Waltons usually are pretty damn good, so.
Yeah.
So, are we going to give us a rating or something, or?
Yeah. Well, let's holy. Okay, let's. Oh wait, we already.
Oh yeah, catch up with the chat. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
You are the chat master.
Like he says, John Walmsley is both a talented actor and musician. He's 67 years old today. Pop, please don't hurt me. I'm trying to do research and do know some things without Google all the time.
Huh?
Well, you said you said he is just Googling stuff, and he's just trying to do some research.
Well, no, because I said Harry Potter. Never mind, forget it.
And Mikey says Vasquez Rocks outside of LA did provide background for many TOS episodes. Yeah, we knew that.
No, I was talking about Malibu Canyon.
Yeah. and Warner Brothers Studios real lot served as the Walton's primary film set, but additional scenes came from life around. Yeah, so I'm guessing you're right. It is Malibu Canyon, and some of the mountain scenes were from Virginia
It's no
also.
big deal. It's no big deal.
All right. So, PvP, how would you rate this episode?
Well, I'm always a bit conservative in my ratings because I always know there might be ones that are absolutely perfect. So I thought this one was a very good episode. I thought it was fun to have the plane, and I thought it was really interesting to have Olivia having her birthday midlife crisis. That was a lot of fun, and having Olivia fantasizing about flying away in the clouds and having a different life. That was something I could totally relate to because I think probably most of us have been there one or two times in our life when we think, what if I just made different choices when I was young and I'd gone on a different path and life had taught me different lessons. But of course, we can't. We can only have one life, so we can't do that. So I really liked a lot of this episode. It was nice. It was nice seeing Paul Michael Glazer, whatever his name is, because I did enjoy Starsky and Hutch quite a bit. Not that I've seen a lot of episodes, but the ones I did see were fun. Because you gotta love a good '70s cop show with car chases, right?
and Huggy Bear.
Oh, Huggy Bear was great. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's basically Gorilla. Okay, we're talking about it as a cop show, and you had Paul Michael Glazer, the guy we saw here with the dark hair, and we had a blonde hair guy, David Soul, and then we had Guinan. We had the pimp that knew everything. They always went to when they needed an answer to solve a case. That's why I never liked Guinan. That trope is so damn old. Where every time, well, we need to resolve this plot. Go talk to this person, and it's always the black person, not a stereotype. That would give them all their answers.
Oh, he's very stereotyped. Yeah, I agree.
Of course,
he was totally stereotyped. Good Lord.
But that's why people don't understand when I try to explain to them about Guinan, how that's basically the character she plays. She's the one that gives away and answers the plot and tells them what's going on, and that's why I never liked her character. But
that's probably where the damn writers got it from. Yeah.
Well, no, there's many shows that were like that, not just her. Remember, Police Squad even made fun of it, where the shoe shine guy was the Guinan character.
Oh, the shoe shine guy was hilarious.
That's right, because that's what it was parodying. Was because all those cop shows had one person that they would go to who miraculously knew everything about what was going on.
Yeah, the black guy. Yeah.
I know, and that's what Guinan was.
Yeah. You're totally right there, Pop.
I know people, people like TNG, so yeah. That's why it's the younger people who like TNG, because they haven't grown up watching the old TV shows like you and I have. Yeah. So when I bring up those old references, they don't understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, TOS is always going to be my favorite. I mean, I like some episodes of TNG, though I think some of it's crap. I like some episodes of Deep Space Nine, though I think some of it is crap. And Enterprise, it's up and down too. But for me, TOS maybe has like a it's got maybe 5 or 6 really crappy episodes I can't really watch. But for the most part, well, let's put it this way: it's probably about 40% of the show is fantastic. The other 40% is very good, and there's maybe 20% that's not so good. But overall, it's my favorite Star Trek for sure.
Cool.
By the way, I'm trying to figure. Do you remember the Starsky and Hutch episode, Pop, where one of them got botulism and he was going to die in like 24 hours? And
they always have the old trope. It's usually botulism or rabies.
Something like that, but he was going to die if the other guy didn't find him, and it was.
I think it was rabies.
I think it might have been botulism, but
Glenn Ford. There was a movie.
It doesn't matter.
There was a movie called Rabbit with Glenn Ford where he was out in the desert and he got rabies, and the plot was he was trying to get back to civilization to get to it before he died. And that movie was a good movie, it did well. And after it came out, a whole bunch of TV shows started using that plot.
Well, I could see that.
Not Rabbit. Rabbit was David Cronenberg, but there's another movie. It's a Glenn Ford movie. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, no worries. But I don't think it was rabies. I think it was more like something like botulism, like really bad. And I can't remember which one
Possible.
had it, and the other one had to find him. And it was like, he had like 24 hours or whatever to find him before he got, really sick. And it was such a suspenseful episode. It was so well written. That was probably my favorite episode of Starsky and Hutch I ever saw because it was really good, but I just can't for the life of me remember the damn
Have you
title
ever
now.
seen the movie? Have you ever seen the movie DOA with Evan O'Brien?
I
It's about a
did,
man
yes.
he
Yes.
gets poisoned and he has 24 hours to find out who did it and
Right.
to get the antidote.
Who
So that's where they all rip off from that movie, pretty much.
Yeah, that was what, 50s, right?
Yes, black and white.
Yeah, I remember that.
So go ahead.
I have seen that movie probably 40 years ago or something.
So, PvP, what's your final grade?
I think
Rage was the movie where Glenn poured Rage.
I'll be conservative.
ahead.
I'm going to give it an A-. It's a really good episode, but I know there's better ones.
Alrighty. There, Pop, do you have any thoughts on this episode?
I thought it was pretty good. I like it. I didn't watch the whole thing ahead of time like you guys did, so all I picked up was from your stream, but I did like it, and it was good to see Michael learn to get a role where she could stand out. I'm sure the actress probably enjoyed it as well. Usually they do when they get to be the center of attention that week. And I always appreciate the episodes where Will Gear's still alive. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, he was only through season 3 or 4 or something?
6.
Yeah, he died, not 6.
Season 6.
Oh, he made it that far. Okay.
How many seasons was it on the air? Gorilla 11, 10? What was it?
9.
Was that
11?
9.
9?
9?
Okay.
Holy crap.
Oh, so only 3 without him. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, as for me, I really liked this episode. Like, I loved it. You had the realistic midlife depression. The family all comes together and puts on a spectacular birthday party, which you don't see in movies anymore. It is a lot of fun reviewing it. I like the Airmail Man. He had some great back and forth. It's like hard to pick which scenes I should play and which and risk the copyright for, and which ones I shouldn't. But I already know I'm gonna get claimed. I already got my response typed out, ready to go. No, I'm gonna give this one a solid A there. There might have been a few tweaks here and there. There's a little pattern, but like I was saying, I was liking some of the eye contact and how they took their time, like especially that scene with the Cooper and John there, how they just took their time, and they were expressed with their eyes and everything, that stuff there. So I thought it was really good there. I'm giving it an A.
That's a good rating. Yeah, I agree with that rating. Yeah, I almost went there, but I always like to grade a little bit down because I know there's going to be at least a few that I'm going to like more. So I'm always conservative.
Yeah, if I like it, I'm gonna give it a high rating. If I don't like it, then it goes in the D or F pile, or maybe a C.
Oh yeah, if I think it's crap, I'll definitely rate it low for sure.
Yeah. So thank you, Mikey64, for coming. His next stream on his channel there, which he'll probably be streaming on Restream there because it works a lot better for him, will be his New Year's party there. We'll be ringing in the New Year there. Thank you, Cody Guy, for coming there. Thank you, Oiler Greg, for coming. He does spoiler-free reviews on his channels. I'm not sure when his next upload will be, but make sure to keep an eye out for that. And thank you to my co-host. He was having some technical difficulties today, so he had to drop out. But he has the Saturday morning cartoons. I think we're watching Thundercats tomorrow. It might have been something else that won. But it's Saturday morning cartoons tomorrow, and then we have the open panels on Thursdays.
Hey, what time you doing? You're doing Master of the World on Saturday tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good Vincent Price movie.
Oh, that's a great Vincent Price. What time are you doing it?
6 o'clock, like I normally do.
So that's 6 Central?
Yeah.
So like be 4 o'clock my time, I'm guessing then, right?
Yep.
I will try and make that because I really love that movie. If I can find it online tonight, I'll probably definitely take a watch.
It's on that site you gave me. I got it right here. I already got it pulled up.
Gorilla, I have to ask Gorilla, how familiar are you with?
Post it in the private. Thank you, Gorilla. Thank you.
Yeah. What's that, Pop?
How familiar are you with Vincent Price?
I'm not good with names. I just know faces.
That's what I thought. All right. I want to know your opinion after you watch it.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
You're the only one I've ever met who doesn't know who Vincent Price is.
I'm not good with names. I'm just not good with names.
That's all right. Well, you know who Clint Eastwood is, right?
Who? I'm kidding.
That's probably the funniest thing I've heard on this stream tonight since I made the sock joke earlier. Oh, good Lord!
I gotta clip that sock thing out for a
You've
short.
got to. You got to put that on. I bet if you put that on the shorts, you might get a lot of views. Actually, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to download a clip here. So, thank you. What?
By the way, I was mistaken. It wasn't Olivia that has a channel on YouTube, but it's Judy Norton, I guess, who played what, Mary Ellen?
Oh, I was wondering about that.
She has a channel, and she's actually interviewing Olivia on a couple of streams, which I posted in the private chat. If you guys want to, clip those and log in to watch them later. And it's actually quite a fun interview because, it's obviously great to see two of the old co-stars, reminiscing and having fun together. And it's good. I'd say check it out.
Okay. And thank you, the Phantom Boomer Explorers, for coming. He has his Friday Night Noir and he does Sunday Night Noirs there where he watches old films on his Cosby streams there. So make sure to check him out. Something to check out to him. All right, Pop, what do you got going on?
Oh, me? Depends on how I feel tomorrow. Hopefully, rumbling from the lab. But I should be okay. Be covered by Monday for Lost in Space.
All right.
And I've been so out of it, I haven't had a chance to figure out what movie we're going to do for Tuesday's horror sci-fi stream.
Okay.
I need to get with Nemesis on that. I bet I haven't even looked to see the voting results, but I think I had a poll in my community tab for people to vote. And I think the one that was winning last I checked was that people wanted me to have all the above, which means 1 week sci-fi, 1 week classic, and 1 week.
That's what I voted for. I thought I'd make it difficult for you. Sorry, Bob.
Well, no, it's not difficult. It's totally fine. It's just that I have to, based on those results, I have to figure out what I'm going to cover on Tuesday. Is all. I have to come up with a title and then a link for everybody so they have a chance to watch it before Tuesday, because it's already Friday night. I'm sorry, I'm out of it. I can't think straight.
So
I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. We understand.
We understand totally.
You're a friend. We understand the issues you're facing, Pop.
It's not just physical, but it's mental. My brain just shuts down. I can't think straight.
Hey, I just finished working today at 5:00. Tell me about shutting your brain off.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days in a row isn't fun.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
Well, the good news is, okay, there's a service that picks me up, because my car needs work. So my insurance company, they have a service that comes and picks me up and takes me to the doctor's appointment.
Oh, that's
and they
good,
pick me up when it's over. Yeah, the guy who gives me a ride, Chris, asked me today, hey, do you smoke pot? And I said, well, sometimes when my lungs can handle it. He goes, well, here's a joint.
Now that's the kind of driver I want.
That's the service I'm talking about, right? So that's
awesome.
Was a little bit of, right. I haven't smoked it because my lungs are all screwed up, but I'm gonna try. Maybe.
Just save it for a couple of days there, Pop. But that sounds like a good guy. It sounds like you met.
Yeah, he said that he grows it. He said he grows it himself, and he'll bring me more on Monday.
Awesome! Wow.
Excuse me.
Man, I wish I knew somebody like that. But it's interesting. You meet fun people like this. My apartment. I don't know a lot of people, but I maybe know 5 or 6 to chat with. and they're all good people, right? I mean, different ages from my age to people in their 20s. And there's one guy that moved here, strangely, about 9 years ago when I moved into the building. He moved to Canada from Australia, right? So he's only like maybe around 30, and he's like, this Aussie guy. He's your classic Aussie, right? He's like, "Hey, mate, how you doing?" And we always have good chats when we do meet each other, right? And yeah, you just get the feeling when you've met a good person. I think, don't you, Pop?
Yeah, I'm usually a pretty good judge of character. Do you ever? I'm curious. The door to your apartment, is it inside of a hallway?
There's two locked door. Well, there's actually there's the front door, which
Right,
is
but
not
I'm saying
locked.
is this right? But I'm saying is it's not on the outside like a balcony. It's like on the inside of a hallway. I mean, so my question is, can you smell if somebody smokes pot?
I'm on the third floor, and I have not. There used to be somebody in around either below me or above me that every once in a while, because there's a bathroom fan, right? And every once in a while, I'd smell something that smelled like pot, but that's probably been a couple of years ago, and I haven't smelled it since.
Well,
So
do you know if they have excuse me? Do they evict people? Man, sorry guys. Do they evict people there if they smoke pot?
well, you're not supposed to smoke in the building, period.
So nobody smokes cigarettes? Oh, bullshit.
If you want to smoke a cigarette, I think you're allowed to on the balcony.
Okay, it's just that I've never met a smoker who doesn't cheat the rules.
But don't, if you smoke it in your apartment. See, thing is, if you're smoking in your apartment, the smell's probably going to linger out in the hallways.
Oh yes.
And then other people, like, I don't have the greatest lungs. I've always had lung conditions in my life, and I don't like the smell of smoke. I avoid it at all costs. So, I mean, personally, I'm kind of a libertarian at heart, I guess. It's like, if you want to smoke your brains out on anything, go for it, but just don't blow it in my face, right?
I know, I can't stand the smell of cigarette smoke.
But I'm sure there are people in the building. Well, I've actually gone on the hallways some days and I smell marijuana, so I know there's people smoking the stuff, but
well,
I don't think
marijuana,
about it
I need a problem with it. Cigarette smoke is what's nauseous.
Yeah, I don't mind marijuana. It's the cigarette smoke I can't handle, which is weird because I was like a hardcore smoker for like 20 years before I gave it up, like, about 33 years ago when I was in my early 30s, because I thought, if I don't quit this now, my lungs are going to be so fucked up by the time I'm in my 60s. I'll be having emphysema. So
yeah,
I'm
you'll be
glad I
me.
quit. I'm glad I quit.
I quit. It didn't do any good, apparently.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that's what happens.
Well, let's just hope the treatments, you said the treatments seem to be helping a little bit, so
well, I don't know.
Hopefully they will.
You might see me on the news as the guy that strangled and beat his doctor to death.
You mean Pop goes postal?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, PvP, what do you got going on? Oh, we just lost PvP.
Oh, is that his way of signing off?
I don't know. But as for me, I got Master of the World tomorrow that we're watching, or we're doing a review of. And then Sunday we're hopefully watching American Wedding if PvP can make it.
And to clarify, not Master and Commander, you're watching Master of the World.
Yes, from 1961.
Right, not Master and Commander with Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Then on we'll have Justified on Wednesday. Then next Saturday we'll be reviewing the Waltons episode, The Triangle. John Boy jealously competes for the attentions of his favorite school teacher against Reverend Fordwick. So
I hit the wrong fucking button again, which I've done before.
So what do you got going on PvP?
Not much. This weekend I basically got to work my ass off cleaning the place up and hopefully having a bit of time to do a few live streams, having fun with you guys. And that's, by the way, actually, shit, I should mention, I did actually finish my second 50 music video stream of videos around 3 minutes or less. and I have not posted it yet because I haven't totally, gone through it to see if I like it. But I'll probably post that sometime tomorrow, so you'll have new tunes to listen to.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I hope somebody's listening to the damn things because I spent hours posting.
Well, you
putting
could check
these
your
things together.
analytics. You could check your analytics. It'll tell you. Have you done that?
I have no idea how to do that because I'm a techno boob.
Has anybody emailed you or have comments like you're in your comment sections?
No. Well, see, the thing is, I pull all the videos from other channels and you conglomerate them, right? So it's not like they're really going to email me,
Okay.
Because I just pick and choose and pull, the best quality videos I can find from other channels. Because I'm not uploading them myself. I mean, that would be way too much work.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And Mikey gave this episode a B+ there.
Thanks for having me on, Gorilla.
Yeah,
That's
not a problem.
conservative.
So with this, I'm gonna end it. You guys have a good night. Remember to be a gorilla.